Our Shock and Awe conference for men this year featured some key messages that were short, strategic and timely. Presented by various men of influence, I'm excited to share this one on Who's to Blame by Senior Pastor Graham Marsh of King's Church in Eastbourne, UK. Enjoy.
It's great to be with you. So greetings from the entire United Kingdom. It's what is taking place. Where were you on the 21st of November? If I look back at various historical events that have happened when Mandela was released out of prison, I remember where I was. When Berlin Wall was taken down, I remember where I was. And actually I remember on the 21st of November where I was and heard this momentous news that took place, that everything was changing in Zimbabwe. And I rushed out and I watched the television, or the TV stations in the UK suddenly cut to live what was taking place here in your nation. And just to let you know that you are not alone. There's people around the world who are looking in, watching on, just seeing what is taking place. And there's Christians in around the world praying for you right now to what is taking place, and we want to see it. I remember hearing one of those. There was a lady who was interviewed on the streets of Harare, and she said this: 37 years ago they said that it was my day of independence. Today is my day of independence. And it's an extraordinary opportunity. I was chatting to Pastor Wayne a few days ago, and he said, "This is something just on your heart." And I just said, there's an extraordinary opportunity, I believe, right now. And I just was led to John chapter 9. Beginning of that, and I just for a few moments just look at this and just comment on it, if that's okay. As Jesus passed by, he saw a man who was blind from birth. Okay, so here was just Jesus walking along. He didn't come to Jesus. Jesus with his followers was walking by. We're walking by people all the time. And his disciples asked Jesus, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" And Jesus said, paraphrase, "Well, neither. It was not that this man sinned or his parents, but that the works of God might be displayed in him. We must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. Night is coming when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world." And having said these things, he spat on the ground and made mud with the saliva. Then he anointed the man's eyes with the mud and said to him, "Go wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sent. And so he went and he washed, and the man came back seeing. I don't know whether it's just a British culture thing, but the British culture, everyone wants to blame someone. Now, I'm very keen on football. You sometimes call it soccer. Very keen on football. And my team is Brighton, who are in the Premiership. We beat Arsenal the other week, okay? And people were saying, have we got any Arsenal? No, okay. People are going, Arsenal are so bad, who's to blame? It is the manager's fault, Arsene Wenger. It's his fault. We love to blame. Why don't I have enough money? It's my boss's fault. Why is the economy in such an interesting state? It's the government's fault. If I put on too much weight, it's my wife's fault. Now, here we've got this story here. Yeah, why have we got 6 kids? Okay, I love how Jesus stepped into the story. This man might have just stood there, probably begging, just stood there. He didn't come to Jesus, but Jesus went to him. There's opportunity all around. And the question was asked, who's to blame? And Jesus said, no one's to blame. But actually here is an amazing opportunity for the glory of God to be revealed. Whose fault is it? It's no one's fault. It's so that God's glory can be displayed. And if we only seek to blame, then we are shutting down the possibility of blessing. Rather than who can we blame at this moment, who can we bless? Rather than look to the problem, what can God do through us? You know that we're living in divided times. You don't have the monopoly of divided times in Zimbabwe and Africa. In the UK at the moment, it is incredibly divided. Half the nation want to stay in Europe and half the nation want to get out of Europe. Huge division. those who want to exit and those who want to remain. Well, how do I respond in that situation? Well, I need to be in a place where I am blessing those who want to remain and I'm blessing those who want to exit. That is my response. If you look across into the US at the moment, and the president is causing more division in that nation than they have seen before. What do we do? In those situations, I just think the response of our heart is at this moment, rather than blame, is look to see who we can bless. Everyone else is to blame. It's their fault. My life is going to be a whole lot better if it wasn't for them. Jesus said, don't play the blame game. Don't shut down the possibility of blessing. We're here to bless in his name. And so I just think that there's an intentionality on our part right now to take the moment. And really just, as I wrap up here, it's an odd story. Has anyone ever felt when they've read that story that it's kind of an odd story? To be honest, it's fairly gross and disgusting what Jesus did. But why did he do that? Why did he spit and why did he make of the mud and why did he rub it into the eye? I think a few verses on the answer becomes clear, because the day that he was healed, it says that it was a Sabbath day. What Jesus did actually broke the rules of the Sabbath. But he wanted to communicate and to demonstrate, I am here. Look, the Sabbath was meant to be here for our blessing. It's meant to be here for my benefit. And it all got twisted and it all got turned around so it was benefiting no one. And Jesus said, look, by spitting onto the ground, which was against the law, they could have spitting on stone, but they can't spit on soil, because spitting on soil, that's irrigating the ground. You can't do that on the Sabbath day. And then making the mud out of it is kind of like kneading it, like you knead bread. You're not allowed to do that on the Sabbath day because that is classed as work. Jesus did these things because he wanted to demonstrate my heavenly Father is someone who wants to bless. And so really, how do we respond? I think, there's 50 or so guys here. It's taking the opportunity, not to blame, but stepping into this moment in time to go, God, what are you calling me to do? How can I bless, not blame? How can I be a carrier of the blessing? How can we be people who reflect what the real Father's all about? And I just want to leave that with you. And it's stirring me, and I hope it stirs you.